Well, greetings, folks. I'm coming to you in this video, and the question I'm going to answer is, can Medicaid take a jointly owned home? So in this video, you're going to learn three things. Number one, whether you can get on Medicaid when owning a home jointly, number one. Number two, what happens if you transfer the home after you qualify for Medicaid? And number three, whether Medicaid can come take the home after you die. So again, my name is Bill O'Leary, and I'm an attorney in Jacksonville, Florida, and I focus on estate planning, elder law, probate, trust administration, and my law firm is Legacy Planning Law Group. So back to the topic of this video. So when helping someone qualify for Medicaid, a lot of times I'll get the question whether Medicaid can take the home. That's a common concern. And the short answer is no. Medicaid cannot deny eligibility, nor can it come after the home after the Medicaid recipient dies. And this is true, by the way, whether the home is owned by the Medicaid recipient individually or jointly with someone else, let's say with a spouse or maybe an adult child. Now, let's drill down a little bit. Medicaid, it's a federal program that is run by the state. So it's sort of a federal-state partnership. Part of the program is federal, and part of the program is state-run. Here in Florida, we're very fortunate. You can keep the home and still get on Medicaid. That's not the case in other states. So Florida, you see, is one of those states where they don't put a lien on the primary residence of the Medicaid recipient. And again, this is true whether the home is owned individually or even jointly with someone else. Again, spouse, child, whatever it might be. If the person applying for Medicaid is an owner of the home and that is their primary residence, that is their homestead, then Medicaid will not count the home against the very small $2,000 asset limit that the recipient otherwise has to meet. Medicaid will not place a lien on the home and during that application or at any point thereafter. So that's good. All you need to do is to indicate on the Medicaid application that you have an intent to return. And even though everybody, including Medicaid, knows that the individual that's applying for Medicaid and is likely moving into a skilled nursing facility, even though everybody knows that that person is not going to be going back home, that's okay. Just stating that on the application is good enough, and then you're good to go. So again, that's a great thing that we have here in Florida. Now you, or let's say a loved one, have become eligible for Medicaid. That still owning the home is going to be ignored and continue to be ignored by Medicaid during each annual review, which they do every year. So again, this is more good news for us in Florida. Now, there's a caution point here. Be careful. If, let's say, you or let's say a family member on your behalf later wants to sell the home or give it away, then you're going to run into a problem. Let's say selling the home because the upkeep has become too much to bear, the expenses and so forth. You want to sell the home, or let's say rent the home out. Both of those would create a problem with Medicaid because you've converted an asset that Medicaid considered exempt, sort of protected, the homestead, you convert it to a countable asset that's what's called cash, or let's say rental income. So you're going to need to be very careful as you engage in this planning. Same thing if you give away the home after you qualify, then that's a problematic gift and will trigger what's called a Medicaid penalty, which is a period of ineligibility where you have to pay your way privately. So consult with an elder law attorney to make sure that if you do sell it, that you have an immediate plan on place to do something with those assets in a way that's approved by Medicaid so you can continue to stay on the Medicaid rolls. Now, in terms of giving it away, there is one huge exception to that sort of that problem rule that Medicaid gives us where you can't transfer the home. And that is if it is transferred between spouses. So maybe the house is owned by husband and wife, and at some point after qualifying, it deemed best to go ahead and transfer the assets out of joint name into the name of, we'll call it the well spouse, the community spouse. That's okay. Transfers between assets are okay. In fact, if we're working with a client that is seeking to get on Medicaid and we're doing Medicaid planning for them, a lot of times that's a step we've already taken before the application is submitted. Let's get it out of joint name. And then what happens when the Medicaid recipient dies? The good news here as well is that Florida Medicaid cannot come take the home. You see, Medicaid has a procedure called estate recovery, where they can come in and take assets of the deceased Medicaid beneficiary to try to, recoup the payments that were made out to that person. However, in Florida, unlike other states, Florida Medicaid can only come in and take assets that have to go through the probate process. And here in Florida, the homestead is not considered a probate asset, so it's off limits to Medicaid after you die. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about sort of Medicaid and whether they can take a jointly owned home and maybe how we can help, we would love to talk to you. So we would invite you, go ahead and reach out and schedule the free 15-minute phone call that we make available called our Discovery phone call. Just click on the link below this video, and that by doing so will take you straight to our scheduling or booking calendar. Pick a time that works for you. And again, it's a way for us to start the conversation. Would also invite you and encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Legacy Planning Law Group, where there are lots of other videos and topics of interest. Also ask that you like and share this video. And so I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. Bill O'Leary, and on behalf of everybody here at Team Legacy, I would encourage you to go make it a great day and a better world.